Have you ever sat in your chair, looked out the window and wondered, why do I feel so heavy these days? And I don't mean your body, I mean your spirit. That quiet feeling in your chest that says you're tired, but not from walking, or lifting, or chores. It's a different kind of tired, the kind that wears you down slowly day by day, like the joy is leaking out of you and you're not even sure why. If that sounds familiar, I want to talk with you today, heart to heart. Because sometimes it's not about adding more things to your life. It's not always about doing yoga, drinking green juice, or taking another supplement. Sometimes the real shift comes when you stop doing the things that quietly drain your energy, your pride, and your peace. The ones you've accepted out of habit or guilt, or simply because no one told you it was okay to stop. After 70, life becomes something different. You've lived decades. You've worked, raised families, helped others, lost people, and rebuilt your life more than once. You've earned the right to protect your joy, not just give it away because it's what others expect. But we often forget that. We fall into patterns, and those patterns can rob us of the very light that makes life worth living. So today we're going to talk about what to stop doing, not because you're doing something wrong, but because you deserve better. You deserve more ease, more laughter, more calm mornings and peaceful evenings. You deserve to wake up and not feel like the best parts of you are behind you. Let's begin with the first one, and this one's hard for a lot of people. Stop saying yes when your heart says no. It sounds so simple, doesn't it? But I know from experience, it's not. You might have spent a lifetime putting others first. That instinct doesn't go away just because you've gotten older. In fact, sometimes it gets stronger. You want to be helpful. You want to feel needed. You don't want to be a burden, so you go along with things. You say yes to favors, events, visits, even when every part of you is whispering, I just need a break. But here's the truth. Saying yes when you mean no isn't kindness. It's self-abandonment. And over time, it drains your joy like a slow leak in your soul. You find yourself exhausted, resentful, disconnected, and you don't know why. It's because you haven't honored your own boundaries. Now, I'm not saying to stop caring, I'm saying to care smarter. To say yes with a full heart, not a tired one. To give because you want to, not because you feel obligated to. And to remind yourself that no is not a rejection. It's a form of self-respect. When you begin to listen to that quiet inner voice and trust it, something beautiful happens. You stop overextending. You stop stretching yourself thin for things that don't light you up. And instead, you start showing up fully for the things that do. Now, once you've made peace with saying no, it opens the door for the second shift. And this one can truly change how you feel about your days. So once you begin to say no with more confidence, the next thing to stop doing is something just as important and just as sneaky. It's the habit of reliving regrets as if they still hold power over you today. Have you noticed how the mind can sometimes drag up things from decades ago? A missed opportunity, a harsh word, a choice you wish you made differently. And before you know it, your heart sinks. And your present moment, this beautiful moment right in front of you, feels distant, like it's being shadowed by something long gone. I've spoken with many people over 70 who carry regrets like heavy coats in summer, and they don't even realize they've been wearing them. I wish I spent more time with my kids when they were young. I should have taken that trip. I never apologized to my brother. It doesn't matter how big or small, it all adds up. But let me ask you something gently. When you look back at those moments, do you speak to yourself with kindness? Or do you scold yourself the way no one else ever would? Here's what I've learned. After a certain age, you've earned the right to drop the shame and pick up understanding instead. You did the best you could with what you knew at the time. That's not just a comforting phrase. It's the truth. We were all different versions of ourselves at different stages. The person you were at 30, or even 60, isn't the person sitting here now. You've grown, you've softened, you've learned things the hard way. That deserves compassion, not punishment. So when those regrets rise up again, and they will, try something new. Instead of replaying the memory like a painful movie, press pause, take a breath and say, "That happened and I've learned from it." Then, gently bring yourself back to now, because here's what regret does. It anchors you to what can't be changed. But joy lives only in the present, and when you let go of what no longer serves your spirit, you make space for something new. Peace, connection, lightness, and maybe even laughter. That brings us to something else we don't always notice we're doing. And this one can slip into your routine without you even realizing it. It's time to stop waiting for others to give you permission to feel good. It's wild how many of us do this. We wait for a phone call, a compliment, an invitation, a message that says you matter. And if it doesn't come, we shrink. We say, well, maybe I don't matter that much anymore. But that's not the truth, it's just a thought. I want to tell you something clearly, right here and now. You do not need anyone's permission to enjoy your life. You don't need to wait for someone to validate your worth. You don't need an audience to dress up. You don't need a reason to smile at yourself in the mirror. If you want to feel joy, wake up and choose it. Not every day will be easy, but every day is an opportunity. You've spent so much of your life caring for others, cheering them on, lifting them up. Isn't it time you started doing that for yourself? The older we get, the more precious our time becomes. So why waste one more minute waiting for someone else to say it's okay to be happy? You already have that permission. And the moment you start giving it to yourself, everything begins to shift. And when that shift begins, when you really stop waiting and start choosing, you'll notice how much lighter your days feel. Let's continue that feeling and go a little deeper into another joy-draining habit many of us carry without even noticing. Now let's talk about something that quietly creeps in and settles deep. It's this habit of comparing yourself to who you used to be. And I don't just mean physically. Sure, the body changes. You might not move like you used to. You might not lift heavy grocery bags or remember every name at a party like you once did. But more than that, we compare how we used to feel, how we used to fit into the world. I was stronger then. I had more people around me. I used to be needed more. Those thoughts, they sneak in, and they carry a dangerous message underneath, that somehow you're worth less now than you were back then. But here's what I believe with my whole heart. You are not a faded version of your former self. You are a deeper version. You have wisdom now, patience, perspective. You've earned every line on your face and every gray hair with stories that others haven't lived through yet. You've seen change. You've survived loss. And you still show up every day with something to give. When we stop looking backward with longing, we open ourselves to living forward with strength. The goal isn't to be who you were at 40. The goal is to become fully who you are at 70, 80, 90, with grace and with power. Let yourself be proud of the person you are now. Not in spite of age, but because of it. And you know what else we need to stop doing? Downplaying our needs. How often have you said, I don't want to be a burden, or don't worry about me, I'm fine, when deep down, you really needed support? There's a quiet kind of loneliness that forms when we teach others to ignore our needs because we've been ignoring them too. It's not weakness to say, I could use a hand. It's not selfish to want company, or help around the house, or just a little more patience when it takes you longer to do something. You've spent a lifetime caring for others. You've shown up, sacrificed, made meals, gave rides, kept things running quietly, constantly. Now is not the time to disappear. Now is the time to speak up with gentleness and confidence. To say, I matter. To say, I need rest. To say, I'd really love some company today. And here's the beautiful part. When you do that, you give others permission to do the same. You model what it looks like to age with honesty, not with silence. With dignity, not with denial. You see, joy can't survive in a life where your needs are always placed last. But when you begin to tend to your own heart, even in small ways. It opens back up again. To light. To love. To joy. So don't wait for someone else to notice. Start noticing yourself. Start giving yourself what you've been waiting to receive. A kind word, a gentle hand, a moment of stillness, a celebration of the ordinary. That's where joy returns, when you remember that you're worthy of care too. And there's one more thing that can steal your joy faster than anything else, especially as we grow older. The final joy stealer I want to talk about is one we don't always see coming. It's holding on to old guilt, grudges, or regrets. Now I know, that's not easy to hear. But let me ask you this gently. How many times a day do you think about something you wish you'd done differently? Maybe it's something you said 30 years ago. Maybe it's a decision that hurt someone. Maybe it's a relationship that never quite healed. Whatever it is, it lingers. It whispers in the background of your thoughts. And without realizing it, you start to believe that you deserve a little less happiness, that you're somehow marked by those old mistakes. But let me tell you something I know to be true. You do not need to carry guilt as a form of punishment for the rest of your life. Regret is a teacher, not a jail sentence. You can learn from it. You can own it. You can grow because of it. But you don't need to live inside it forever. There is such power in saying, "That hurt, and I'm healing anyway." Or, "That happened, and I'm choosing peace anyway." You don't have to forget it, but you do get to move forward. The same goes for grudges. Someone might have hurt you decades ago. Maybe they never apologized. Maybe they're no longer around to do so. But holding on to that anger, keeping the wound open, doesn't hurt them anymore. It hurts you. It keeps you tense, closed, suspicious, and most of all, it keeps you tired, and you deserve rest. You deserve to feel light. Forgiveness is not saying it didn't matter. Forgiveness is saying, I matter too much to keep carrying this. When you let go of that heavy load, it's like taking a deep breath after holding it for years. It's not about weakness. It's about wisdom. Knowing when it's time to release what's been stealing your joy for too long. Because this season of life, it's not about perfection or fixing everything from the past. It's about presence. About being here, now, with all the clarity and compassion you've earned along the way. You still get to feel joy. You still get to laugh deeply, to walk freely, to sleep peacefully. And joy doesn't require everything to be perfect. It just requires space. And when you stop giving your energy to comparison, silence, and pain that no longer serves you, you make room for joy to come back in. And it will come back in. It might start as a small smile, a lighter step, a gentle moment where you realize you're still here. And that means you still have time to feel good, to feel free. You've already lived through so much. Now it's your time to live lighter, kinder, freer. Let that be your gift to yourself.